Okay, in this we're going to deal with Hungarian minor and flat 5 moves, and generally I don't use Hungarian minor as a scale by itself because I like to use the flat 5 move within minor, which gives you the same results pretty much, but you could still use the 4th degree. However, I did limit myself in this particular piece to exclude the 4th degree and just use stuff that you would find in Hungarian minor. And I'm hoping to do another playlist on just scales and then a chromatic type moves in different stylistic ways. We have to realize that, and I know people don't like me talking about this, but the reason I say historically there's a bunch of different things that use this is that the more you learn, the more versatile you become. So here's Hungarian minor, and we're not going to go through the how to use the scale in this video. But basically, is that 4th degree is just raised, giving it a flat 5 sound. So, but personally, I prefer to know these chromatic, how to use these chromatic notes without limiting myself to a scale like Hungarian minor. You'll find flat 5 kind of riffs in like blues music. So, and strong emphasis on such. Stuff like that. One of the themes for Swan Lake, for instance, we'll use the flat 5 on the 5 chord right here. Okay. So, a lot of the times in Mozart's like piano sonatas, he'll do runs like this. So with the flat 5 and whatnot, and I'm pointing these things out not to be negative. It's just to become more versatile. The more versatile you are, the more likely it is you're going to get some kind of media job besides sci-fi and fantasy, which are oversaturated. So let's just go ahead and play this back. Again, it's meant to sound comical, and I've been emphasizing that a lot with these videos, just to not be always sci-fi and fantasy. So basically avoiding that 4th degree. Okay. And I'll actually make a video on Hungarian minor. Not really associated much with comical, so if I just play it really slow. Okay, that kind of F and flat 7 kind of sound. Also, get used to writing in unique and odd times and making it sound fluid. So the next move does use a little bit of chromaticism on the next part. I'm trying to do this super slow. Which makes it actually harder. Okay. So moving this screen over like this so we can get to the next part. The horn line, solo horn line, flat 5, okay, flat 5 over the D minor, okay, really emphasizing that and landing on it and not resolving it. Helps give it that comical nature sound. Chromatic median shift to an F minor chord. Whole step move to F sharp minor. You notice I'm always just emphasizing those chromatic notes and that flat 5 through this whole thing almost. So I stuck the next part in because we're using the double harmonic major mode, which is related to the Hungarian minor mode, and I did that on purpose. It's related to the F Hungarian minor. But your tonal center is now the 5th degree. Giving it kind of a C flat 9, flat 13 sound. And you hear that flat 9 on the trill. But we're doing this kind of disjunct movement almost between a major triad and a augmented triad. And then repeat of this flat 9, flat 13 kind of sound. And then harmonically respelled. I respelled it that way for a reason, so I could create like simple looking triads out of it. So double harmonic major related to Hungarian minor. And the last bar we just basically have Hungarian minor starting on E. Just an interesting note, if you take the C7 flat 5 like in the last bar, you could use that same shape in the whole tone scale. Lydian dominant, Hungarian minor, like what we've been dealing with, or as an augmented 6th chord. So interestingly enough, it's just an interesting observation. So now truthfully, my personal preference is just to use these kind of moves as chromatic moves, not as a set scale, because it limits the actual tones I can use. So I actually prefer the chromaticism over the set scale of Hungarian minor. And because it also gives you way more options in terms of harmonic or melodic moves. So maybe I will start a series on chromatic moves, okay? So please don't take offense to when I say studying other styles, because you have to realize that there's space genre and the fantasy genre are, very small niches, but they're really saturated with, that's what everybody seems to want to do. And if you actually can branch out and learn different stylistic methods by studying different things historically and whatnot, you're probably going to be way better off in trying to land some kind of media job, as opposed to somebody who's only good at creating like action cues and something that sounds like it comes from a fantasy or space movie. That's my whole point sometimes when I'm talking about that. Don't limit what you do. And I'm also taking a lot of these kind of scales and not doing what you normally would do with them. Making, like I used the diminished scale and made it comical. That's the whole point, is try to become more versatile. Because if we're honest, most people want to get into either one of those two genres. And even sample libraries, when you listen to all the demos, they're either aimed at sci-fi or fantasy most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. So realize there's a whole ton of different genres out there that you can get into. And if you always want to go to sci-fi and fantasy later, you could always break in via a genre most people don't want to do, and then work your way towards it. I mean, it makes more sense to be more versatile. That's my whole point, is just trying to be more versatile by studying past masters and other styles of music. And this is a good discussion to have, so feel free to comment about that. I wish everybody good luck and have a wonderful day.